Yeah, what's going on YouTube? I'm back again with a video. So this video it's always been pondering my mind lately. Um, I did a couple of videos on Generation Z, but I haven't really talked about the spiritual aspect of Generation Z. With being the most spiritually illiterate generation in American history. James Emery White. And then when I first heard that, I kind of at first I was like, I'm not really sure about that. But then kind of looking at, the what's going on in the world today and just looking at how much atheism has sprung up over the last, decade. I could see why, you know, I could see why that, people would say that about the younger generation. And it's not really surprising, but at the same time, you know, it's not really surprising, but at the same time, when you look at what's going on, when you look at, the parent, because a lot of people say Generation Z's, um, parents are a lot mostly conservative because, conservatives tend to have more kids than liberals. And that's kind of a whole nother time for a whole nother video, but, you know, I, that's, I mean, in some aspect, that's true, but then again, I look at more of a racial thing because, I mean, yes, it's just true that conservative people tend to have kids, tend to want to have kids, when they're younger. They see kids as a joy versus it being a burden. But then I look at black people, black people have kids out the wazoo, and a lot of them, that black people are very democratic, So I don't, so yeah, that's a whole nother topic for a different story. But I also want to focus on the spiritual aspect of Generation Z because yesterday my pastor was talking about how to bring more young people to the church, and how do we get more young people engaged and come to church. And that's been a topic that I've been, thinking about for the longest because, my church, the church I go to right now, it's a Pentecostal church. It's an older Pentecostal church. So, the church, so not a lot of young people are there, are active, in church. And then the youth that was there, we all grew up. I'm 21. My brother's 20. Um, the pastor's son is 23. All of his kids are like in it grown. Um, you know, the young, the youth that, we did have, which, went to the military. The youngest youth we had went to the military. So, so like we don't really have a youth no more. And, that's the thing. And that's, and that's, and I kind of, what him talk about that on yesterday kind of made me really realize that we don't have a youth no more. And it's like we've been, how do we get young people going to church when, have so much other things to do besides going to church? And that's been something that a lot of churches struggle with, is how to keep young people in. It's not just a church. It's just not just this church I'm in, but it's a whole lot of churches because I've been through several different churches in my lifetime, and I've seen, you know, young people leave church. You know, I've seen it happen over and over and over and over. I've seen it happen. I've seen that once they turn 18, I'm done. Gone. You know, I've seen it happen over and over again. They either leave church, or they stay in church, but they don't come like regularly. So I seen, a lot of young people leave church. You know, for me, you know, for me, uh, for me, I was a church boy growing up, but I wasn't, churchy per se. When I say mean church, I'm talking about like somebody who always bringing up Jesus in every conversation, always in cliches and stuff like that, saying, "Yes, Lord, thank you, thank you." 'Cause I know a lot of kids who I went to school with, they are, I live in North Carolina, so it's like the Bible Belt, very heavily, Jesus is very heavily talked about, mentioned, in conversations, in everyday conversations. But in a lot of times it's people who don't go to church regularly, or just don't go, or just flat out don't go to church at all. So that's so this generation lacks discipleship, and because and then a lot of the not just because as a result of what's happened over the last couple of decades, with Generation X and millennials, they keep leaving church to the point where, you know, they can't leaving church to the point where, you know, now it's now you have to now most churches are like, or now a lot of churches don't have either very little young bit of young people, or if not any at all, and it's or very little at all. So they have to actually, so they have to so the young people that are in church, they have older parents, they have more conservative parents, they have more conservative parenting. So that's why Generation Z, it's more conservative, more likely to lean more right, because parents are having children a lot later nowadays than they were, you know, 30, 40 years ago. So this just been a food for thought for me. Um, as somebody who was in the Generation Z demographic, I was born in '96, so I'm like right on the edge of Generation Z, and for me, you know, for me, I think Generation Z can come to God. I do think that Generation Z can get it like I do think that there's gonna be a generation, a group of Generation Zers walking in the Lord. I do believe that. It is not gonna be the way that's always been done. It's not gonna be give writing you to your church. You know, necessarily. It's probably gonna go. You're probably gonna do uh invite to your Bible study at your house, or probably going to have to put them somewhere where it's not the church, traditional church. Like at a building or steeple. You have to make your own church. Not necessarily make not necessarily say create no crazy doctrine, nothing like that, but make a church where it's where they can question, they can really you know where they can really not feel isolated, stuff like that, and not feel like they're being taught down to. Because I know a lot of churches, the preacher, he can come up and he and a lot of times he talk at you versus talking to you. That's a lot of and that's in this generation, that Generation Z, they're very smart, they're very intelligent. We are a generation that was born and raised with the internet, so we know, so that you can't, so we don't look at preachers or teachers or even parents as the final say. So we look at Google as the final say. So Google, is the you have a whole bunch of sources with Google. Google is a search engine, so you have a whole bunch of sites with Google. So of all that being said, you know, Generation Z, I feel like we got the Generation Z. I feel like this generation can get saved. I just feel like we just need more engagement. We need this generation. We need more people. We need more more. We need stuff like this. YouTube, more platforms like YouTube, where we could directly connect to them, because they spend a lot of time on YouTube. More than any other website in the world, because when you look at Generation Z's celebrities, what do want to be like, they say PewDiePie. PewDiePie is a YouTuber. So So YouTube is one way you can reach to them. Another way you can reach to them is by music. Of course, you got a whole lot of music. You got CHH, you got Christian rock, Christian pop. Those are great, but we can't. But one problem with Christian music is that it comes off trying to be kind of cultural. It comes off being cheesy and unoriginal. Where so with Lecrae, I'm seeing that he's using his platform to reach the church and the unchurched by saying I'm not a Christian rapper, but I'm a rapper who has to be a Christian, and and that kind of resonate, and that kind of because a lot of people say that Christianity, while it's dying, it still has a it still is a brand in America. It still has it's religion. The religion still has a name in America. So like if you say you're Christian, nobody's gonna really have a problem with you per se. But it's when you say that I don't agree with gay marriage or I don't agree with abortion, that's when it becomes a problem. So with Lecrae, he's using he used his music to say, okay, how can I reach this group of people without abandoning this group of people, you know, without abandoning this group of people, because Lecrae's audience has been built by the church. It's been built by young teenagers, teenagers and young adults who grew up in the church, but then but his heart was always for the streets. His heart's always for the hood, because it sounds like the streets, sounds like praying for the hood, sounds like take me as a ham. It has that very it speaks to the heart of young people who don't go to church, and that's what we need to do. You know, and not just with rappers, but with, anybody who's doing something creative like music, poetry, singing. We need to, if we're gonna really get the unsaved, get the unchurched, the unsaved people attention, we really need to walk that thin line between being a Christian, being in the world but not of the world, being a Christian who's who loves God, who follows, who doesn't curse, follows the word of God, but it's not but not overbearing, not overbearing. You put things into context. You show why you can't do this, why you shouldn't smoke weed, why you shouldn't fornicate. Like you gotta like put things into context, because this generation again, we need things in context. So that's my whole thing with Generation Z. And my prayer is that my poetry, I could reach a younger audience. Because that's what this platform was. That's why I created this channel, because I realized that a lot of YouTubers who I watch, a lot of YouTubers who I enjoy are younger. They're either in their teens, 20s, early 20s. They're younger. They're not young. They're either my age or younger. So that's why I started this YouTube platform, so I can reach a younger audience and I can reach people, And then plus I go to my college, I go to a college where it has a large group of high school students called early college students. So I'm around a lot of younger people. So I use this platform to where I realize that like people who go to my school have different views. A lot of them are Muslim, some of them are Catholic, some of them are atheist, agnostic. So like this platform kind of helped me reach an audience that's not that doesn't have that just share the same beliefs as I do. So that's why I enjoy doing this, and that's why I feel like with YouTube, you know, I can reach an audience that I probably that wouldn't be able to reach had elsewhere, because just come to people and talk to people, that's great. But I know I don't see these people every day. I know I don't really get a chance to, I'm not in the, a lot of these kids, I'm not in their classes. So I don't really know, what goes on around their lives, in life. So with this platform, I already got a few subscribers who I know personally, who I had classes with, and I could use that as an advantage. So okay, and then some of them follow me on Instagram or on Facebook. So when they see my YouTube channel, they see my face on YouTube, they be like, okay, this person has a point. I may not agree with what he has to say, but he has some valid points, and they'll listen. So that's my prayer, is that I be able to reach, a large audience, a younger audience. So with that being said, this is Mario here signing out. Peace.